The protection you've been hired to provide is actually a mirror reflecting the wounds you refuse to acknowledge, and true safety requires not standing between your charge and the world, but dismantling the walls that keep you both from being seen. In Stay With Me, Nikki Sloane delivers a dark bodyguard romance that transforms the protector trope into a searing exploration of trauma bonding and earned trust, proving that in relationships defined by threat, intimacy isn't found in vigilance, it's forged in the radical act of lowering your guard when every instinct demands you maintain it. This isn't merely another suspenseful tale with stoic heroes. It's a psychologically precise narrative where every perimeter check feels like both duty and defense mechanism. Consent to connect is negotiated through mutual vulnerability rather than assumed hierarchy, and love means honoring the person beneath the assignment when professionalism demands detachment. From the first rain-slicked narration, listeners are immersed in a world where silence is strategy and presence is the only true shield. Perfect for fans of emotionally complex dark romance and stories where male strength is redefined through tenderness, this audiobook serves up atmospheric tension, relentless emotional honesty, and protagonists whose journey from contractual strangers to sovereign partners resonates with anyone who's ever mistaken control for care. When elite bodyguard Kaylin Thorne is assigned to protect reclusive heiress Ilara Vance after a series of targeted threats, he expects professional distance, not to discover her quiet resilience mirrors the suppressed grief he's carried since his last assignment failed, and her refusal to be treated as a fragile asset creates space for a bond that defies operational protocol. But as they navigate safe houses and buried attractions, Kaylin realizes this detail isn't about extraction, it's about integration. Sloane masterfully avoids reducing Kaylin to a motionless weapon or Ilara to helpless victim. Instead, she crafts a relationship rooted in radical reciprocity within constraint, where trust is earned through honoring boundaries even as danger blurs them, and where intimacy emerges from seeing each other beyond roles. The audiobook narration amplifies this emotional alchemy, capturing Kaylin's disciplined restraint softening into genuine receptivity, and Ilara's guarded composure revealing warmth beneath stoic vigilance. You don't just hear their bond deepen, you feel the seismic shift of two souls learning that some protections can only be offered when you stop defending yourself from connection. What elevates Stay With Me beyond typical bodyguard fare is its nuanced portrayal of security work as somatic therapy rather than heroic performance. Kaylin isn't merely surviving threats, he's confronting how protector culture taught him to equate worth with utility, challenging the notion that safety requires emotional erasure. Ilara isn't heal him through gratitude. She creates sanctuary where his fragility can exist without judgment, honoring his autonomy even as her own walls crumble. Their relationship evolves through acts of radical reciprocity, sharing silences during night watches that bypass performance, establishing protocols that protect both operational integrity and psychological safety, and defending each other from handlers who mistake tenderness for weakness. Supporting characters add vital texture, fellow operatives whose loyalty encodes suppressed trauma, staff whose discretion carries intergenerational weight, even the safe house itself, rendered as liminal archive whose reinforced walls absorb decades of unspoken resilience. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. In systems built on isolation, tenderness is tactical advantage, and presence is the only reliable compass. Even the suspense mechanics serve thematic depth, with threat assessments mirroring emotional attunement and evasion tactics becoming metaphors for earned trust. For audiobook listeners, this production is an immersive sensory descent into fortified intimacy. The narrator embodies Kaylin and Ilara with remarkable distinction. Kaylin's voice carries gravelly exhaustion laced with dawning softness, while Ilara's tone holds bright intelligence beneath layers of hard-won composure, making their chemistry palpable even in stillness. Sound design enhances atmosphere without overwhelming immersion. Distant radio static marking temporal rhythm, rain against reinforced windows during vulnerable confessions, the hushed click of weapons syncing with breath during moments of clarity, all anchor existential stakes in tangible reality. Pacing mirrors the cadence of protective vigilance, deliberate during surveillance and reflection, then surging with urgency as external threats collide with internal awakenings. Whether you're commuting through stable landscapes or sitting in twilight solitude, the audiobook creates a portable sanctuary where slowness feels sacred and embodiment feels lifeline. It's storytelling as somatic validation, transforming passive listening into active participation in a love story that honors both duty and desire. Ultimately, Stay With Me redefines dark bodyguard romance by centering male emotional labor within protective frameworks. It satisfies genre cravings for intense chemistry and high-stakes tension while delivering substantive commentary on trauma response, feminine agency, and the radical act of building partnerships based on mutual recognition rather than rescue. No prior series knowledge is needed. It stands confidently as a complete emotional odyssey. If you've ever wondered whether safety can coexist with vulnerability, or if true strength requires embracing help, this audiobook will affirm that sometimes the most powerful act is simply letting someone else stand watch beside you. Press play, lower the drawbridge, and prepare to believe that even in landscapes shaped by threat, hearts still find ways to hold ground, together. Your next favorite dark romance isn't waiting in flawless heroes. It's waiting in the brave, trembling choice to trust the passenger seat.